This is lesson 14-1, Understanding Percent. Our essential question is, what is percent? And this just shows an example of what we're going to be doing in this lesson. We have one vocab word, percent, a special kind of ratio in which the first term is compared to 100. Example 1. What percent of the figure is shaded? So in order to figure this out, let's first treat this like a fraction because we already know how to do that. So let's count up how many circles I have total. And that's going to be my denominator. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 circles all together. And then let's count up how many of them are shaded because that will tell me what my numerator is. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them that are shaded. So my fraction is 8/10. Now if you think back to that definition that I just gave you of percent, I said that it compares to 100. So we're trying to get to 100 on the bottom. Now I know if I'm going from 10 to 100, I should multiply by 10. Then I do the same thing at the top, and 8 times 10 is 80. Now that is my percent. My numerator, since I wrote this as a fraction, is my percent. So 80% of the figure is shaded. Example number 2. What percent of the figure is shaded? So now we have a number line. Again, the number line is out of 10. So that's my denominator. Now my numerator is going to be just how far I shade up to. So let's count how many lines I shaded. And remember, 0 does not count as 1. So we start here with number 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines have been shaded. So that is my numerator, 7/10. Now remember, we are trying to get to 100 on the bottom. So we multiply by 10. Do the same thing at the top. And 7 times 10 is 70. So my percent is my numerator, which is 70%. Example number 3. Now we have a grid. Again, we're going to start with a fraction. Now, I don't have to count every single square to figure out how many there are. I can just count how many I have in a row. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to count down my column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I can just multiply those together. And I know that 10 times 10 is 100. So this is a 100 grid. So that is my denominator. Because that is my whole. That's how many squares I have all together. Now for my numerator, I have to see how many of them are shaded in. And I already know this whole column is 10 of them are shaded in. This makes 20 of them are shaded in. 21, 22, 23 becomes my numerator. Now, this fraction is already over 100, so I don't have to change it. I just take my numerator, and that becomes my percent. So the answer is 23%. Example number 4, we're doing this again, just like number 3, but we don't have a 100 grid this time. So that's very important that you pay attention to that. Let's count how many I have in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's count how many I have going down my column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can just multiply those together. And 5 times 5 is 25. So that's how many squares I have all together. So that is my denominator. Now I'm going to count how many are shaded. I see one whole row is shaded, and I know that is 5 squares. Now I have to get this to 100 on the bottom. So I'm going to be multiplying by 4. So 5 times 4 is 20, and 25 times 4 is 100. So now that I have my 100 on the bottom, my numerator is my percent. So 20% is the answer. Here are 2 practice problems. First, make them into a fraction, and then you can change that to 100 on the bottom to tell what the percent is. Don't forget a word problem or a question, and rate your understanding.